Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Thanks so much for always watching me. Please, if you are watching me and you have not yet subscribed, consider subscribing, like and share this video. Today I'm going to share with you, as a beginner in sewing, some of the sewing things you will need that will help you to learn your sewing very quick and fast. So please, if you are watching me and you have not yet subscribed, consider subscribing. Click on the notification bell, please. Like this video for me and leave a comment, okay? So let's get started. The first thing you will need is sewing machine. Yes, if you really want to learn how to sew, then you need to get sewing machine. Don't get me wrong, I am not saying you should go for an industrial sewing machine. You can go for electric machine, you can go for manual machine. Do you get it? Rather, do not go for those small machines that you see online and all that. Make sure that you go for a proper machine. And so if you cannot afford industrial machine or electric machine, then buy hand sewing, that is manual machine, and then buy motor tied to it and let them fix it for you, so that that manual machine can work as electric machine for you. I always advise people that when you buy a manual machine, buy motor and attach it to it. The reason is that manual machine can be very stressful when you are using it. And so if you buy the motor and they turn it into electric machine for you, it will save you some of the stress. Do you get it? So try and get a sewing machine. But if you don't have money to buy sewing machine, do not sit there and say, oh, because I don't have money, let me wait when I get money to buy sewing machine before I start learning. No, you can still start without the sewing machine. I have one of my subscribers who has been able to sew some styles with her hands without sewing machine, and I'm so proud of her. And so you too can do it, okay? If you can afford machine, get it. But if you cannot afford machine, it is not an excuse not to learn or watch the videos and be practicing them. The next item or the next thing you will need in sewing as a beginner is scissors. You will need scissors, not just any scissors, but a quality scissors. Make sure that the scissors that you will use it is purposely for your sewing, cutting fabrics, and not for other things. Do you get it? You need a tape measure. It's compulsory, because you need to measure the things you are sewing. You need this to take measurement, to place measurement on the fabric or on your paper or whatever you are using to sew. And so it's very necessary you get them. You also need pins and needles. These pins are very good. I always advise people to get this type of pins compared to the one in the box. This is long and the tip is very sharp. And so when you are using it to pin your fabric or your paper, you don't have to stress yourself. Ones in the box are very short, and sometimes the tips are very blunt, and so you need pins. You cannot say no to pins in sewing. For the rest of your life, you will need to buy pins more and more, so you need them. You also need needle. Yes, needle to help you sew. Needle is very necessary when you are fixing your button and other things. There are certain things you will need needle to do it. You can't use machine. Therefore, if you don't have machine, sewing machine, or if you cannot afford sewing machine, then needle will be okay for you. Do you get it? Needle will be okay for you. So do not use the absence of sewing machine as an excuse to say that because of that, I'm not going to learn how to sew. Hope you get it. And so get a needle is very necessary. The next thing that you also need some tailor's chalk. Yes, you need tailor's chalk if you are working on fabric. Some also use the classroom chalk. The difference is that this one is stress-free, doesn't give a lot of dust. And so if you can get these, get. If you cannot and you want to use the classroom chalk, fine. And also make sure that you get white. White is compulsory, and then you can get any other color added to the white. Hope you get it. Okay. You will also need book and pen. Book and pen. The book will help you to take notes. So even if you are watching videos on YouTube, try and get some notebook. Write some of the points you are learning, so that you can always refer to them. The notebook will also help you that when you take your measurements, you will transfer them into the book so that you don't forget. You also need pencil, very necessary. You will need pencil in drafting on the paper. Some use marker, but as a beginner, I will not advise you to use marker. I will advise you to go for pencil and an eraser. I did not bring eraser here, but you need to get eraser so that when you use the pencil and you make a mistake, you can easily correct it. The next thing you will need, which not forget, is your papers, your drafting papers or brown papers. This I cannot place a less emphasis on it. I need to emphasize this more and more. You will need this. In fact, brown papers, you need them throughout your sewing life. So you say, I am not sewing again, because it will get to a point in life. There are some styles, even if you are a pro, you are a master, you still need to draft certain styles on your drafting paper before you transfer them to your fabric. And so as a beginner, you will need these papers to learn how to draft, how to cut, and even how to sew before you get your fabric. If you master with the papers, you will have less mistakes when it comes to the fabric. And also you will need different colors of thread. Different colors, because if you are working with your fabric, you need a matching color thread. Unless the style you are sewing, you are going to use a different color thread to make a design in it. If not, make sure that whatever you are sewing, you are using a matching color thread. Do you get it? And so thread, you have to buy more and more. You also need this, we call it seam ripper. Seam ripper. It is unprofessional to undo your dress or to remove seams or threads from your dress with blade. No, seam ripper is supposed to do that. It makes it easy for you. We have it in smaller sizes and also bigger sizes. Any of them you get is okay. If you decide to use blade, you can end up spoiling somebody's fabric. And so make sure you go for seam ripper. Okay, the next thing you will need your straight rulers. A very long ruler and a short ruler, very necessary. You will need them. The next things that you will need are your curves. We call them French curves, but they are not compulsory. And so don't say, hey, I can't get French curves, so I cannot learn sewing. No. If you can afford them, go for it. If you cannot afford them, do not stress yourself. When I started, I didn't start with French curves. The time I was able to purchase what I'm holding here. And so if you don't have French curves, don't worry. But one thing you need to know is that French curves helps you to get your round shape, your oval shape, and every shape you need to get very well. It brings out the shape very well for you. Those of you who find it difficult to draw your armhole shape, if you have this, you are safe. Those of you who find it difficult to draw your neck shape properly, this will save you. And so if you can afford French curves, go for them. But if you cannot afford, don't worry, just limit yourself to one long ruler and one short ruler, which will be okay for you. And so one of the things that you need, which I did not bring it here, is fabric. When I talk of fabric, I'm not saying go and buy expensive fabric as a beginner, but you can buy some of these cheap fabrics in the market. You can even decide that you will use lining for the meantime. And so when you draft on the paper, you realize that you are good on the paper, you transfer to that lining, sew the lining and wear, and see that everything is okay before you go and buy expensive fabric. Some even go for adikidon. Yes, some go for adikidon and then use esam kotokun. Those of us in Ghana, you know esam kotokun. That is the sack of bread flour. Yes, you see, the sack of bread flour is usually in a cloth form, so some go for that, wash it and then use it. But for me, I usually advise people that whatever you sew, you should be able to wear. And so if you are using fabric, go for some of these cheap fabrics in the market and then use them. After whatever you sew, you wear it. When you're able to sew something and wear it, it makes you proud. Do you get it? And so you also have to get some fabrics most importantly, cheap fabrics. And so these are the few things you will need as a beginner to learn sewing. Some of them are not compulsory, like sewing machine and also these French curves. Okay, you can still start learning without them. And as time goes on, or as time goes by, you can purchase some. If you are purchasing sewing machine, once again, get a very good one. Don't go for the small ones you see on the internet. Thanks so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video and this video has been helpful to you, please subscribe to the channel for me, like the video for me, share for me, let someone also learn, and leave a comment. I want you to leave a comment there. Tell me how much this video has been helpful, and also leave all your questions under the comment section. Have a blessed day. Bye bye.